I'm going to be making Italian dumplings with Mediterranean veg. The ingredients we require are 100 grams of finely ground semolina, 100 grams of 00 flour, 2 eggs, half a teaspoon of nutmeg, and 150 ml of full fat milk. The first thing we need to do is to add the semolina, the flour to the bowl. I'm going to season with pepper and salt. Then we're going to add the eggs, nutmeg, milk, and whisk. I'm going to keep on whisking this until all the wet ingredients are fully amalgamated and ensuring that we do not have any lumps. And just whisk vigorously. This won't take long. And there you have it. Dumpling mix is ready. Now I will set this aside until required. And just occasionally I will give it a whisk whilst I'm doing the other preparation of the other ingredients. For the Mediterranean veg, we quite simply have got an aubergine, courgette, red pepper, an onion, about 15 leaves of basil, 30 cherry tomatoes, and our parmesan, which we'll grate at the end. Before I start any cooking at all, I'd like to get all my ingredients prepared. Firstly, I'm going to prepare the onion. I'm using the bridge method here. We'll have my fingers one side, my thumb the other, cutting it in half. I've got 2 halves now, laid flat, and with the claw method, with my fingers on top, my thumb behind, my little finger behind, and we're going to finely slice downwards. Make an incision through the middle, and then using the claw method again, chop the onion. Take your time, not to rush. Very easy to make a mistake. And take the tips of your fingers off. As you notice, careful not to put your finger on the blade, particularly the sharp side. And what I like to do is to keep all my ingredients separate. So it'd be easier to handle. But if you can't do that, then place it onto a plate or even onto a tray. But keeping all your vegetables separate. Okay, as the onions are done. Now for the courgette, we're going to top it, tail it. And to make it easier for handling, I'm going to cut the courgettes into 3, which then allows me to sit it up straight, and then I can then cut downwards to create my cubes. Now it's very important that we prepare the vegetables all roughly the same size. And once you've sliced your courgettes downwards, going to take a couple at a time, and then we're going to create some batons. They're about a centimetre and a half thick, and then into cubes. Now once you've prepared your courgettes, let's place into a separate bowl. And then we'll now prepare the aubergine. Once again, we top, tail. In this case, cut in half, sit it on its end, and once again slicing it similar size to the courgettes. Take a couple at a time, flat side down, 1.5 centimeter thick, and once again into cubes. For the red pepper, what we need to do here is take the knife through the middle like so, open it up, remove the center, any little seeds, just tap them out. And what we can do here then is to pick it up like so, and then you can take the knife and slice it lengthways, similar thickness to the aubergine and courgette. Taking your time, watching your fingers. And similar fashion, just take a few at a time and roughly cut to 1.5 centimeter cubes. And finally, we have cherry tomatoes, plum cherry tomatoes, and I've already sliced these in half, but just to demonstrate how to do this, you can take those tomatoes, hold it in the bridge method, and just cut in half lengthways and place into your bowl. Now for the cooking part, we're going to add about a tablespoon of olive oil and then add the onions. Now it's important that you have it on sort of a medium to low heat. You don't want to burn the onions. All you want to do here now is to sweat, in other words, cooking the onion and drawing out the natural sugars within the onions. You do not want it to caramelize or to burn. So heat management is really important. Now the onions have been cooking for 4 or 5 minutes. We're going to add the peppers. And once again, we're going to sweat the peppers with the onions now, because we have to cook in stages, because each particular vegetable takes longer to cook. So I'm going to start off with the peppers, then I'm going to follow with the aubergines, then the courgettes, and finally the tomato. Now the peppers have been cooking for about 5 minutes. Once again, keeping my eye on it, not for any onions or peppers to burn. I'm going to add the aubergine next. And once again, we need to sweat this off with the peppers and onions until they are almost cooked. Now the aubergines are almost cooked. As you can see, they've changed their colour. And now I'm going to add some ground black pepper at this stage, not too much, and some salt. And the next thing I'm going to add are the courgettes and the tomatoes. And once again, I'm going to continue cooking this until the tomatoes have softened and the courgettes are cooked. Now, as you can see, the courgettes are now cooked. The tomatoes have blistered and allowed all those gorgeous juices to escape within the actual ragu here, and this is coming to an end. So what I'm going to do here now, I'm going to take this off the heat. Whilst I've been cooking the vegetables, I've been boiling a pan of water, and now to cook the dumplings, I'll be using a tray like this, which has holes in about 10 millimeters wide. Now, for ease, I'm going to place the plate on top of there, put my tray on top of that. Now I'm going to add my dumpling mix into the tray. I'm going to remove the plate and cook my dumplings. I'm going to be using my scraper to pass the dumplings through the holes into the water, like so. Making sure the heat is turned up, scraping it through, making sure you got all of it. And once that's done, you can place it back on your plate to stop it dripping anywhere. With a spider, we're going to move the dumplings around so they begin to cook. It only takes a few minutes to cook the dumplings. Once it's come back up to the boil and the dumplings start to rise to the surface, and you'll find that they'll start to souffle slightly, start to expand. At that point, we need to turn down the heat and then add the dumplings to our vegetables. And here we go. Cooking beautifully, making sure that I'm keeping the dumplings moving all the time. And there you have it. I've turned down the heat. Now I'm going to bring my pan forward, and I'm going to scoop and drain slightly the dumplings, adding it to my vegetables. Make sure I capture everyone so there's no escapee, at which point I can now fold the dumplings into the vegetables. Now, to serve the dish, I've already added the finely sliced basil leaves, and we're going to place it into our bowl here. And look at those beautiful colours, very appetizing. And now I'm just going to finish off with some grated parmesan. And final touch of a little bit of basil on top of that. There you go. Your Italian dumplings with Mediterranean vegetables.